Hi, I'm Becky Parker Geist. I'm the host of the Audiobook Connection podcast, Behind the Scenes with the Creative Teams. I'm also president of Bay Area Independent Publishers Association and the CEO and founder of Pro Audio Voices and Amplify Audiobooks, providing audiobook and podcast production, distribution, and marketing. And today I'm excited to have with me Daniel Anton Novak, author of several children's stories that are both in English and in Spanish. The collection is called The Symphony of Eight Stories. Daniel, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So, let's start off with, start off at the very beginning. Tell us a little bit about your background. Did and also where your first interest in writing started.
Well, I grew up in Seven Hills. My father was a physicist, electrical engineer, and we grew up in a decent neighborhood, a middle class neighborhood. But our house was at the end of a dead end street, and so there was a big wood area of woods around where I lived, and that's where I used to explore when I was a kid and climb the trees. And I ran around barefoot most of the time, but it was about a 2 square mile area. It's a huge area. And, as I get older, I realized what a privilege that was.
Yeah.
But when I turned age 12, they came in with the bulldozers and they tore down all those trees and, destroyed the ravine and the pond and all these different places where we used to go. But I think that helped inspire my imagination, basically from my childhood and the way I was able to play
Yeah.
in the woods. Because today kids they're on their uh, phones, computers, and
Yeah.
they don't really get out too much.
Yeah.
So I was really privileged in that way.
Yeah.
Imagination. I think I was writing stories like second grade. I was just one of those kids always daydreaming and had imagination. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it started. But
That's
the
cool.
writing, really, I'm not really a writer because I'm dyslexic. So I see myself more as a storyteller. So
Ah, yeah.
I come up with stories through my imagination, and then I have to scribble that down on paper. And it almost looks like a foreign language when I'm done writing it. It's just back when it in my age at that time they called it a learning disability. They didn't even call it dyslexia. In fact,
Right.
I didn't find out I had dyslexia until I was 26 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I read a book written by Ron Davis, The Gift of Dyslexia,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where he got more into the visualization part of our brain actually interferes with the writing part of the brain, that vice versa. So people that are really good, like in visuals, they have difficulty writing, and people that are real good with writing have difficulty with visuals. So that's kind of
Yeah.
just that's how it works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, interesting. When you talk about your childhood, running around barefoot in the woods, climbing
yeah,
trees, man, that sounds so much like my childhood.
yeah. There was
Yeah,
a vine. There was this vine where we would go swinging. There was like we used to build campfires. There was a lot of kids around this time too. We
yeah,
did sled riding.
yeah,
It was just really an amazing time in my life.
yeah,
Humans were the only creatures that are not connected to the earth. The earth has a magnetic field in it.
yeah,
And if you think about it, all the animals, they don't have shoes. The humans were
right.
the only ones that are disconnected from the earth,
Yeah,
and we're also causing it the most harm. So it's
yeah.
kind of,
It's
so I think
nuts.
that
Yeah,
connecting with the nature, I think helps to inspire creativity.
yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you have a series of books, a series of stories, and there's a few that are about Henry the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did?
Well, then, from my first marriage, I adopted a son. His name was Charles, and I used to play with him a lot. And he liked monsters and dragons and all that kind of stuff. So that's where that story started.
Mhm.
It's kind of a sad story, but after his mother and I got divorced, he got hooked on heroin,
Oh,
and
sorry.
he died. he was 29 years old. He had an overdose from one of the victims of the fentanyl epidemic.
Oh, wow.
So I honored him by putting him, in the story.
Yeah.
But most of the characters in my stories are from my relatives. I mean
the different
the
names.
names. I put the names
Okay,
in there.
yeah.
Mr. Stern was used my neighbor, Jewish neighbor, and he was just a wise person. I always went to him for advice,
Yeah.
and so I put him in. As a training engineer with the ideas,
Yeah. Yeah.
And Rudy was my great uncle. He was a veteran. He had post traumatic stress, I think, but he was a veteran in Germany
Mm.
near the end of the war, so he saw a lot of things over there. But so I honored him by naming the little bird landing on giant Jesse's like.
Yeah.
And then the squirrel was Anna. Anna was my great aunt. She used to save money. I mean, she was the type of person when I go visit her in a nursing home, she would always have like a bag of sugar to give me, because she didn't throw anything out. So she was like a squirrel,
Yeah.
So I named her the squirrel, put her in there. So I just kind of had fun with it.
Yeah. So you drew in some of those characteristics then from these people in your lives. It sounds
Oh
like.
yeah. And the story is really, where does creativity come from? I don't really know. I mean, it just for me, I get a story almost comes to me like in one big flash. I kind of like see it. I get the idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just come up with the name of the story, and then the story, I get the story. I just kind of visualize what's happening. So my stories are descriptive because I'm actually see the stories when I'm writing it. So I kind of do it from a uh, backwards kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And
So in your mind, as the story's coming to you, you're seeing it,
I
and then
see
the
it.
story is
Yeah.
coming to life in that vision.
Yeah,
Interesting.
in fact, the stories, I don't really write the stories. I visualize the stories and then I write them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's,
Do you find
it's
that helps with that adding the descriptive text of like what the place is like, what that setting is like?
yeah, I think so. I think it does help.
Mhm.
I was tested with, after I read the book written by Ron Davis,
Yeah.
I decided to go get myself tested. So I went to this place, Stephanie Gordon. She had dyslexia services there, and she did a test on me and diagnosed me with dyslexia when I was 26 years old.
Mm.
But that, being aware, that helps you to be able to work around it more because up until that point, you kind of think you're stupid because you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't stupid. It's just I couldn't, But by the time I got to be 26, I'm like, I know I'm not stupid. Why can't I, why does this all come out all scribbled like this? Why can't I
Right.
remember, And she explained to me that she said there's actually research on it. It's mixed dominance, and there's different compartments in our brain. And some people, their brain actually breaks through that tissue, that membrane,
Mm.
and goes into another area. And what happens is, so they're better at visualizing, but it'll take away from somewhere else. Like somebody who's blind,
Yeah.
their other senses become more developed. I think the same thing kind of happens with our brain. We depending on where we're good at, but that's all neuroscience stuff. It's all beyond me. But
Yeah. Yeah. And when did so you've been creating these stories in your mind. When did you start writing them down? What prompted that decision to?
I think I started attempting writing them down right away. When I would get the story, because like when I was in school, my teachers they said I had good stories, but I had a tutor that would rewrite all my stories because I have like my spelling is just horrible. It's not
Yeah.
just a little bit. It's just like it's like a foreign language.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I would just remember the stories, and then I'd write them down and I'd share it, and then I would refine them over the years, and there's quite a bit of material there. I started doing some of the illustrations for it, What happened is in 2011, I was in an industrial accident at work, and I had a steel door fall on my neck.
Ooh.
And from that, I ended up on disability pension from work,
Hmm.
and I suffered from very loud ringing in the head. So there's been a lot of different distractions that happened to me in my life that kept me from being able to produce these and get these out. But I'm excited about to finally get them out there
Yeah.
because they've been like a little treasure for me. I've been
Yeah.
taking care of them, and computers would crash. So I had to go back and find, papers, that I'd written and scribble and salvage what I had there.
Yeah.
So it was actually a pretty big process to actually, to produce these now. So I'm, over
Yeah.
27 years. So I'm excited about getting them out.
Yeah, that's great. And what would you say? No, yeah, I know that sometimes as we're writing, hello there.
Daniel.
Uh, sometimes as we're writing, we're not really aware of any particular themes or issues that we may be addressing in the stories, and sometimes we are. What would you say are
I
your
think,
stories
I think
address?
with, I think with any artist, either a writer or the painter, there's a lot of pain. We carry pain, and that pain, you put it into your work.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so, and also the joy, you put your joy in there too. Things that, so the stories I've written, they have to do with, basically just, going out there, exploring, making friends, doing kind deeds, making the world a better place, and have imagination.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Let's just take a short pause here, and then I want to come back and talk more about the audiobook specifically and what that
Okay.
experience has been like. So we'll be
Okay.
right back. The Symphony of Eight Short Stories by Daniel A. Novak is a joyful, imaginative collection of children's tales and is now available in both English and Spanish. These unique stories invite listeners of all ages into a world with creativity, courage, kindness, and curiosity at the center. Perfect for bilingual families, classrooms, or anyone looking to experience the magic of storytelling across languages, this audio collection celebrates the power of imagination. So press play, sit back, and enjoy the ride. This is one symphony you'll want to hear again and again. Now available on Amplify Audiobooks. Get your copy today at amplifyaudiobooks.com. Okay, so as you know, we got started on the audiobook process. And actually, there was one other thing I wanted to touch on first, and that is about the fact that you've got your books both in English and in Spanish.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that decision, and let's just start there. Why did you decide to put your books in both English and Spanish?
In 2011, after I had a severe injury, I was in court for 7 years, and I won a settlement for my injuries. And so from that settlement money, I decided, so I have a lot of nerve pain.
Hmm.
So I decided to go to Mexico because I can get massages down here, and the climate where I live is like 75 degrees all year round.
Yeah.
And so I did it for therapy, and then I met my wife down here. Then we had this one right here, this Daniel Jr. He was born down here. He's bilingual. He's 5 years old. He speaks perfect Spanish and English.
That's awesome.
So I wanted him to be able to hear the stories in his native language,
Yeah.
and so that's where the Spanish and the English came from.
That's great. And then, as now jumping into the audio production process, I always like to ask, because we have a lot of authors who listen to the podcast, are there any things that you felt were like either the most surprising things to you about the process? Anything that sort of jumps out at you that you would like to share with other authors that maybe?
Well, I picked your company. You know, I did some research online. I picked your company because of your the amount of years of experience that you had, and so that's why I picked your company. If for anyone that's going to do it, I would say, trust the process and be patient because it is, it's an involved process and it does take time. And but as a pro audio voice is really there's a very systematic and detailed approach for creating a decent product. Very happy with it. And I would recommend Pro Audio Voices for anyone that wants to really put that extra work into their project.
Yeah, thank you. And so approaching it with both the English and the Spanish editions of audio, we did use different narrators. For the English, you chose a male narrator and female, so Elias Khalil and Samantha Cooper. Tell us a little bit about your thinking and decisions with your choice of narrators.
Well, what I did, I really like their voices. So they're great voices, and they also have their own website where you can go there and listen to their work. And I was really impressed with it. So, and then also when I would during the process, what I would do is I play the stories to to my children, and I would wait for their reaction because when you're storytelling, you want to get a reaction. You want to make people smile, and you want to make them laugh,
Yeah.
and you want to make them feel good after they hear your story. So
Yes, yes.
so I would basically when I was selecting the different narrators, I would listen to who got the most reaction. Like when they would listen to a story, I got 5 reactions out of this narrator, and I only got 2 out of that one because there's with the narration process, it's not so much what you say; it's how you say it.
Right.
You can add humor. You can add humor to something by saying it just with your the emotion you put. So,
Yeah, yeah,
it's bringing the characters to life. It's
right.
but that's how I did it. I don't know
Yeah.
how anyone else would do it.
No, it's great. And just for our listeners who may be curious about the production aspect of that, I'll fill in a little bit around. So the mapping out of the music and sound effects, which is a significant part, and we can chat a little bit more about that. But then once we would get it all lined up with the English version, then we would apply the same principles in the Spanish version. And then, of course, had for the project a bilingual, fully bilingual audio engineer who was working on the project. So let's talk a little bit about like the choice of music and sound effects. Anything that you'd like to share about what that was like? And it's fine to talk about any challenges that came along in the process, or things that were exciting to you about the process. Because
Well, I the music choices. I just tried to pick upbeat, happy music,
yeah.
and also all these are different stories. I wanted it to be like a symphony or a cornucopia, like a basket of different ideas being kind of merged together. So I kind of like treated it in a holistic approach.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there are going to be sequels. I have other stories. I have other sequels to the Wiggy story and Suzuki. Um, I have a few projects in work and will be released later.
Yeah, great. Yeah, they're really delightful stories. I love some of the, not only the writing, but also the themes that you've brought in. And it's such a
Yeah,
positive
Samantha did a
experience.
great job in The Mouse and the Clock. Her different voices and characters. She really just really fantastic. And Elias too. They're really great narrators.
Yeah, great. Well, tell our listeners a little bit more about where they can learn more about you and your writing. Like what
I'm
would
a pretty private person, really. I do have a X account. I'm on Facebook, and but I don't really communicate too much on there because I'm not really a writer.
hmm
But a lot of times I do the transcribing when I talk, and I
Okay. Well, great. Well,
yeah.
one thing I think our listeners will be glad to know is that your audiobooks will be available on Amplify Audiobooks, so they can support you there. And yeah, I just want to thank you for this time. It's been great to
Thank you.
talk with you and have this conversation.
Yeah, looking forward to sharing with the world
Yeah, great.
the stories.
Thank you. Again,
Thank
this
you.
is Daniel Anton. Bye bye. Daniel Anton Novak, author of The Symphony of Eight Stories. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.